Hi, I'm Angela Smith.
And I'm Huong, and together we help purpose-driven leaders and teams fine-tune the way that they work so that they can excel at what they do, make the impact that they want to make in the world without burning themselves out.
As part of our work, we talk a lot about chronic stress, about burnout, about resilience and well-being. Today, what we want to spend time on is actually debunking some of the really common myths associated with burnout. How do we know that these are myths? Because we've experienced burnout. We're going to be sharing some of our stories with you as well. So what you can expect to hear about is the difference between what people think experiencing burnout is like versus what it actually is. We are going to touch on who is likely to experience burnout, and it might be a bit of a surprise. And then lastly, we're going to talk about what the journey recovering from burnout looks like. And it might surprise you as well. It's not a quick one. That's what I can tell you.
So let's dive in. A common misconception about burnout is that it strikes fast, and that's not true at all. Research have shown that it could take about 18 to 24 months for somebody to go from starting to experience some burnout symptom to being completely burnt out. For example, for me, when I first experienced burnout, it took me almost a year. I was starting to feel some weird symptom like shortness of breath, heart palpitation, a lot of headache, there was a lot of digestive issues, and all the medical tests came back negative. Like my doctor couldn't really figure out what was going on for me. Because the medical test says that I was fine, I thought that I was fine. So I just kept pushing. Stress was no stranger to me. So I just kept pushing and pushing until one day I just physically and emotionally couldn't show up at work anymore.
We liken that whole experience to like a piece of bread in the toaster, right? So when you put the bread in, it doesn't just all of a sudden go black. It's basically just toasting over time as it's exposed to that heat. So if you think of that heat as the stress that you might be enduring on a daily basis, you can kind of see how it builds up over time. And then eventually, if it moves you along that spectrum, and if you were exposed to that heat or that stress for long enough without any kind of break, you can end up being like that burnt piece of black toast. It's so far gone, right? That's a really good analogy for how burnout tends to hit.
Yeah, and when you hit that burnt toast stage, it could take a really long time, and it's a very difficult climb back up to recovery. So that's why we wanted to share this, so that people understand that they can reach out for support sooner. You don't have to wait until you hit that black toast stage to actually reach out for help. It's actually better for you and easier for the recovery process if you reach out for support sooner.
So another myth about burnout is that people who are resilient won't burn out. It's only for the weak. This is so not true. In fact, a lot of people who struggle with burnout can be the most resilient people, because what will happen is they will continue to push themselves through. They will try to persevere through difficulty and stress, and they will just kind of keep themselves in that toaster for longer. And I can share a very personal example with that. When I finally gave notice at my full-time job, because I had hit burnout stage, I was that black piece of toast. My boss actually said at the time that she wasn't surprised. She said that I was doing the job of about 3 people in the year leading up to that. The reason for that was that there were a whole bunch of vacancies on the leadership team, and so I was leaning in and trying to fill that void. It meant that I was leaning into areas that I was not an expert in, like finance. It meant I was trying to be a leader to all of the staff who had no leader to look up to and to guide them. I also had a 1-year-old at the time, and so my partner was working very, very long hours, but was still, trying to support as much as possible at home. So that's a really personal and real example of the fact that burnout is not a sign of weakness. Burnout can be actually a sign of, unfortunately, resilience, that it is who's willing to bear a whole lot of stress and endure that for a long period of time before finally making a decision to break that cycle.
So the last myth that we want to debunk is the assumption that you only burn out once. In our experience, that's not what happens. So in fact, both of us, I think, have experienced at least twice, if not 3 times throughout our career so far. This is because burnout just doesn't happen in a vacuum. The fact that you've experienced burnout once means that you probably have a lot of the risk factors to experience it again. Maybe you have perfectionist tendency, maybe the volume or the pressure of the type of work that you do put you at higher risk. Or maybe you have a lot of caregiving responsibility going on without adequate support either from your family, your community, or even your government. So all of these factors might not have been addressed the first time you recover from your first burnout. And also our life changed, right? Our caregiving responsibility ebbs and flow depending on what's going on with our parents or our kids. As life situations change and evolve, your risk factor for burnout also change. The point is, it's important to keep an eye out for the early warning sign. When you recover from burnout once, I think you're better equipped to start noticing what are some of the early warning signs for yourself, right?
Yeah, for me, I know that my early warning signs of burnout are cocooning. It means withdrawing from interaction with people. It means not going out, not trying to make plans with friends, not responding to texts or answering the phone because I just can't take in anymore.
For me, it's the quality of my sleep. I'm usually somebody who can like hit the pillow and fall asleep right away. So if I'm finding myself tossing and turning at night, not having the best quality of sleep, I need to start thinking about rest and recovery and what is it that I need to refill my cup.
So that's it. We hope that this was really helpful for you. If it was, please like this video, subscribe so that you can stay up to date on all of the information that we're going to be sharing. If you know somebody who might be struggling with burnout in your community or in your network, feel free to share this with them, because one of the most important things to do with burnout is to not make it a solo experience. A lot of people experience it. That's why we talk about it. Anyway, thanks so much.
Thanks for watching.